Good morning, everybody. It's 9:58 on the clock. The 9 is the Hermit, 58 is the Four of Swords. For me, that's the 5D connection. And we're going to do my usual 3-deck read, which is now again a 4-deck read. I use the Journey of Love, Metatron, Nature's Whispers, and Shaman Dreams, and then again the 7-deck read on the table as usual. So there's some amazing messages again that came through this first read. So let's go ahead and take a few deep breaths first, and then we'll get into the die and so on, okay? All right. Good morning, everybody. Take a deep breath. Another deep breath. And one more deep breath. Okay, let's roll the die. So today is the 18th of October, 2022. And so today, the 18 is the moon, and the day adds up to 34, which is the 8 of Wands, the energetic exchange, the arrows of love, a lot of communication or travel back and forth, a lot of busyness regarding energy. Okay, so let's see here. For the Twin Flames, October 18th, 2022. Okay, we have the Cancer symbol, which also could be the 69, which is the Ace of Pentacles, which is an offer of time, money, or energy, or a big new start. We have Pluto again, which came up yesterday, and it hasn't been up for a while, and it came up 2 days in a row. So profound transformation going on there, perhaps Scorpio or Aries energy. And then the number 3, which is the Empress and Taurus, but also the month of March, which is Pisces going into Aries. So mainly Scorpio Taurus, which is the axis we're on right now for the North Node and South Node, Taurus in the North Node, Scorpio in the South Node, and then Cancer energies of home and family. And we have 2 water signs there too. So 2 fixed and then a cardinal sign. So let's see how this all comes together here. And I'm also getting the 2 and the 3 here, and the Pluto is coming up as that 0 energy right there. The space between the 2 and the 3. And the 6 and the 9. Oh, that's interesting. Remember the 69 came up because my pod came up in the read yesterday, where you put the 6 and the 9 together and it becomes the 8. And I'll show that to you in my notes. So, yep, let's get going. Some important messages came through for sure. This is the 4-deck read here. Make sure, see if I can get all the dust off of this here. It's just from fluff from the blanket and stuff. But okay, we have Journey of Love up top here. This is all the underlying energies from each deck. I picked out 3 cards for each one, and then the pile that came out after those 3 cards, I always use that for numerology to count the pile. So there's 1 at the end of each deck. And I'm going to pull it in closer so you can see the cards better. Okay, Journey of Love at the top, Metatron deck, Nature's Whispers, and then Shaman Dreams there at the bottom. And that very last row is like an addendum that came out with the Shaman Dreams as well. Okay. So I did this, I cut this first deck at 12:44. 12 is the Hanging Man of wisdom, seeing new perspectives, hanging out perhaps, and the 44 of the 4 of Cups, which can be boredom and apathy, but is also grounding, integrating, and mastering how to receive love. The 4 piles that came up that I had to count, were 2, 3, 1, and 2, which for me are representative of the spiral, going from the 2 up to the 3, but then back down to the 1 and up to the 2 again. So again, the circle, which is never really a circle because there are no complete solids, there's always a space between, and the circle is really a loop that keeps going. And also notice that there were 8 extra cards that came out at the bottom, and 2, 3, 1, 2 equals 8, and 8 is also the dance of the masculine and feminine, as well as strength, inner and outer, and the manifestation of dreams. But also, you know, the loop represents the circle again, and the 8 is the 2 circles coming together. So that was just even starting out there was very profound for me. The underlying energy here is the 2 card, within nothing there's everything, and then the 29 of the Blue Madonna, the 48 of hope and happiness, and the 54 of the crossing. The Divine Feminine High Priestess present to gifts of the Blue Madonna, and again I always get the Black Madonna is actually a very dark blue Madonna, finding happiness within the universal Mercury in the crossing of the initiate, which came up in my last read, all about the alchemist. So if you haven't watched that, you might want to, because there's a lot of information about the alchemy process that came up in that you will understand went into some of the messages from this message. So again, the present, the Divine Feminine present to the gifts of the Blue Madonna, finding happiness within the universal Mercury in the crossing over of the initiate. So again, the student of alchemy getting to the other side of the 81 thrones. So again, yesterday what came up was about the divine masculine sun, fire, air, which is the dragon's breath, the ether, and light was coming up today. The divine feminine moon, water, which is also earth, which is coming up as plasma, love. So the plasma ethers as the love light energy that comes through and becomes the masculine and feminine, and then breaks down into the 4 elements. So the underlying energy here for the first deck was the 33 of God Speaks, through the Christed Initiate, the 26 of the Page of Wands, which has been coming up as the Lion's Heart, the Guardian of the Soul Family, the Vortex Story of the Christ Spark, the 61 of She Who Takes the Risk to Love, the 2 of the Divine Feminine High Priestess, in the womb of the earth, within nothing, there is everything. The 33 plus 26 plus 61 plus 2 equals 122, which was sitting above the card 22, and then when I put the pile back down, the 22 is showing through with the 2 card on top, so there was that 222 again, and loving all that is. So again, it's that energy of holding space. And the 2 on top was the Fool's Journey of the Divine Feminine High Priestess. The first card out was the number 3 of the Burning Hero, of the Empress on Fire, dipping their toe into purgatory and cooling it off. So cooling off the fires to get to that 10, which is that high vibe destiny of Source and the One. The card 3, 2, 1 came up very significantly, as when I was going through, I think it was in Ishmael, there was something I looked up about Ishmael online, and they wrote God, but they didn't write the 0 in the middle, like, you know, it was sacred and they're not allowed to write it, so they write G and then the underline for the missing letter and then D. So that was coming up again here too with the 3 to 1, which is actually the 2 in the middle, which is the space between the 3 and the 1, and was coming up like God, like that 2 is the underline missing letter, or the 0, the space between, that source of God. And that website was chabad.org, chabad.org. It's also coming up as 321, the door number 2 in the middle is always the right answer. God, G-O-D, where the O, or source human, right, the energy of God within the human, is in with God and the dog, the reflection of God, and also 309, which I brought up on the last read as well, where 309 is actually representing the 6 in the middle, because the 0 is the space of being present in the moment, and the 6 is the spiral, which is actually the 0, because it's not really a closed circuit. So 309 is also representing the 369, which of course you all know is Tesla. The 6 of the spiral of the, again, how we started out today, the 2, 3, 1, 2 of the spiral, weaving to the other side, 2, 3, 1 to the 8 dance, each with a story to revel in, to feel your way, which was coming up right there. The empty, calm vortex of the number 2, and then on fire with 3, and then back to the 1, 0, back to source, that number 1, which is actually 2 dots and an arc between, that leap of faith, leaping back to source, which is the 3 in the vortex for peace again. And then the number 46 came up, but using 4 now in the reverse as the word, F-O-R. 4-6 is the spiral G, and the 4 is the L of the right angle, and the lowercase l, or the 1, which is the 2 dots actually with the arc between, which is the right angle of the leap. Just for a moment, joy in the number 46, which is this card in the Journey of Love, and the 46 is also the 2 children loving each other. The inner and outer child leaping for joy, with arms up in the air, heart open wide to the sun's rays. Daring to enter the vortex through the fire, the cyclone to get to the other side. The vortex, the calm peace of the 3, where the daughter child jumps for joy at 121 to get charged up by the sun, birthing all over again. 2 cards came up then, with the 2 again being the space between the 1 and the 3, the love that exists everywhere in polarity and mediation, pushing away to pull back in and feel the love, splitting the cell, pushing away and coming back together as the individuals and yet the same. The 11 of 2 aligned, side by side, sharing the space between. The 2 underlined and the 0, the G, which is the spiral. After all, 2 is half of the heart, underlined. Remember 2, if you reflect it against itself, it becomes a heart with a line underneath. 2 is the half of the heart, underlined in the middle. When 2 come together, let no man put asunder. Do not understand, but stand equal and congruent to, which is the meaning for the capital E, 1 equal and congruent to the reflection of E, which is 1 equal and congruent to itself. So what came up with that E, so here's a little drawing at 128, by the way, at the bottom there. Okay, so we have the drawing of the 2 E's, 1 equal and congruent to each other, reflecting each other, which then came down to this, right, where the 3 lines are actually dots, and it makes the 1111. Sorry, it's not quite focused there, which makes the 1111 here. And since there's 3 dots in the middle, 2 of those dots come out to make the time of 1111, right, where the 2 dots are actually each 1, because 2 dots equal a line. It's an arc. And then it also makes the 1x1, right, the dance of the 2 1s coming together, and the x is also the number 2 because it's 2 1s, and there again is the 2 in the middle. So you see how the messages always come back to themselves, and there's the dots making the x. So at 129, which is the Magician and the 3 of Wands being present in the moment to your gifts, where 2 cards came up, and the number 13 of gifts received, and 13 is transition, and the number 69, which is contemplation. Transition of nature's orbs, and orbs means thoughts, words, blind men, and orphans. And contemplation of the Ace of Pentacles, an offering of the gold coin. Remember, coin means Kohan, it's another way of spelling it, and gold is the G old, the God Ancient One. God the Ancient One, Kohan, where Han equals the Happiness Hotel, a roadside shelter for travelers and animals. And also Haver came up. It's Haver, but also Haver was my gymnastics coach when I was little, and very kind person. And the havers of equal parts, to talk about in song on a river, and in with ducks and ginger, or galangal, which is the word for ginger, which is coming up as gal and gal, two gals and him. An ear, arm, hand, foreleg, wing, branch, Chinese, to eat. A Khan, or ruler, haven. The K energy of Han, which is Khan. A traveling show of fiery, dried up, husky, hoarse, scarce kings, needing a cool drink of clean water at home. Om, her happiness hotel. So Khan also came up as KH, which comes up as potassium hydride, and then KHA, which means to consume or accept or receive, to draw, pick, or pluck, or bitter as well. Only becomes Khan when the lowercase n comes in, which for me is code for Jesus, when Jesus or that energy is not understood, but evenly stood. Remember, understood means to stand under someone else. Instead of being understood, being evenly stood. The energy of K, of Han, of Gonzo riding in the luggage compartment and then taking a dive. Oh, what fun. Ending up at the Happiness Hotel in London. Gonzo says, one of the quotes from the movie is, "You got every kind of pest, Pops, but treat them all as equals, just like any other quest." And that was coming up from ysanity.net. Transition in leaving to receive nature's offerings without question. The underlying energy of the next deck is at 149, the Magician and the Nine of Cups. The 33, which is the Christ energy, the dimensional gateway to the 52 of the Queen of Swords and Big Bird, of Christ and Sophia, both with golden wings, to the Shaman's truth of 55, of red and blue, in the blue Madonna's presence, within the void. 48, which is that void of going within. The purple moon, which by the way is blue and red, is purple. The 0 point field, the Om of the home. He grounded and how. She with serious alignment to her gifts. Holding the 29, the portal on the ground. Sophia, he as Christ holds the portal in the etheric realms. She holds space, he holds ground, and I was getting grace as well. The red and blue and purple moon all over. The hand and star home, or in other words, the handyman and twinkle toes, where twinkle is twin key and toes is the T, the capital T is the energy of the dead end at the top, which is source energy or creator, and then the OW, which is two U's. TO of two U's. So the twin key, twinkle toes, is coming up as the twin key of two U's. Also comes up as TOES, originally, as in your toes on your feet, also translates to two S's of Sophia, which are two C's of whispering benches reflecting each other. So the first card out here at 158, the Magician and the Four of Swords. And right at that moment when I started this, you know how you hear a wind in the winter time and it's you know it's winter out because it sounds severe. It's like, whoo, like, you know, like a Halloween night or something like that. That's what it sounded like right here. The wind outside howled like it was really going to be cold. And then the King of Swords came up, which is that cold energy of the 51, with white wings and diamond light. Remember, diamond comes also from dimension. Dimension is diamond's connection, which is also two diamonds is diamonds, or two people, because MENS is not just man but woman as well, it's people. So two people connection is dimension. The double diamond quantum energy of the twin flame source, the source head di-gamma, which is two gamma rays. The big T of the dead end at the top, and the little ray of the little gamma, which becomes the little and big gamma rays of the capital F. In the F to the right, but started out to the left, As gamma originated as GAMA, looks like a number 7, but more curved like a boomerang. And boomerang breaks down to boo me, ran from God, or ray of human Jesus God. 51, King of Swords. 51. I can hear you. Thank you. 51 is the King of Swords, steps into the field to cool the cyclone, the ego, with number 44. Sorry about that. My brother's staying with me. To cool the cyclone, the ego, with the number 44, aka, which came up as the 52, the Queen of Swords, which you'll understand if you watched the last video, because the Queen of Swords was coming up as both cards, the 52 Big Bird and the 44. As the social worker Atlas receiving the big waves and lighting up the electromagnetic grid, purifying the ego grid of Madonna and the pure King of Swords son, of Sirius and Procyon, of pure lineage and intent of the Madonna, the trigger of Beetle and Bella to lighten up the other twins, to cool things off in the vortex, 3 to 1. As the daughter opens to the sun, the King of Cups is called to look up at dawn, which was very interesting, the way that came up personally for me for names, because it was coming up as the King of Cups, which my brother Dan is the King of Cups. His soul number is the King of Cups, and his wife's name is Dawn. So at 209, the King of Cups is called to look up at dawn, which dawn also comes up as the Dan, which means Lord, with 2 U's. The brother of Eve and uncle of their children, to detach from drama, or Dr. AMA, which of course AMA means American Medical Association, as we're talking about Dr. AMA in drama, but AMA also means a Japanese female pearl diver, a toxic byproduct of improper or incomplete digestion, fabric made from camel or goat, father, village, grandmother, mother, origin, wet nurse, housekeeper, mistress, now with love, rain man, to trouble, yoke, the pearl inside, I am human being, old ruin, father's brother, and again right there Down syndrome also came up for me, and ugh, or impatience, the governess, to be bitter, to love, see, lady of the house, the senior, seldom, maternal aunt or mother-in-law, however, flute, water, horse and dog, and last of all again was the father, coming up over and over and over again. So Dr. Ama, and what does doctor mean? Because it's not just a doctor. DR is also to drive away, to repeat, or a debtor, as in DEBTOR, but also the physician doctorate, the haver, literally was defined this way, and dronning, which means queen. So queen and haver was equating to physician. So DR, to drive away or repel, a debtor, a queen, a haver or owner. Drama repels both sides, perhaps to drive a few negative things, but mostly everything else. Like there was a few negative things came up there that you may be trying to drive away, but in the process of drama, you're mostly driving away a lot of good stuff. The DR needs to fix things and have title, but no human needs fixing or entitlement, only to heal themselves and settlement, a place to be in peace and co-creation. The King of Cups looking up at the joyful children. At 233, which is the High Priestess and the Christ vibration of that 33, which is all about unity consciousness, it's not about religion. The 3 cards there, which is the number 3 of the Empress in Abundance, abundance, which BUN is also a kidney marker of transmutation of the physical body. Abundance is also moving your butt around and dancing. the 38 of the Queen of Cups with activated light body, and the 54 of the Page of Swords, which is the universal Mercury from the Castle on a Cloud 9 purple moon, the 0 point field, the 14 of Temperance, one step at a time, with natural, aka nature, natural boundaries of love and nature set daily with auric keys, again, things with a consciousness, on the natural path to the sun, through the arcs and the steeples, the circles and points, and notches on the castle top, like your knuckles, the hills and valleys, the sine wave path, weaving back and forth like Aussie Teddy do when I go out for a walk with him. He always weaves back and forth in front of me and makes me trip. The grandmother Sophia, the father, mother, brother, and sister, and castle of Mercury and angelic ones, angels' natural boundaries. Boundaries is bound and dairies, or bound Aries. Prepared dairies, or adjacent, or at least getting ready, Aries, which also can be the constipated, constrained, or obliged ram, or the great leap of the beam or the ray, the male sheep. And faith, which faith is that F of digamma, and eighth, which means oath. So the twin gamma ray, oath, the twin flame covenant. Remember, the twin flame is the quantum energy field of push and pull. At 248 is the High Priestess, the 48 of the Eight of Cups going within, and the 18, which remember today's day is the upgrade from the 144 moved into flow. The 144 moves into the dance of 1-8. The animals 2 by 2 dancing in a leap of faith. The ark, no ahs about it, right? The Noah's Ark. The 47 of the 7 of Cups of seeing synchronicities or heaven in your eyes. From 4 to 7, the sweet spot of laughter. The heart chakra to the crown chakra, 4 to 7. Seeing within just makes you burst out laughing. Children playing on their avatars. Again, tars came up all the last time, and tars means throne. The grandmother's throne, and Pegasus, birthed from the ocean, the whale, the grandmother, the little ones causing thunder rolls on the clouds because they're up to something mischievous yet sweet, creating a blissful atmosphere for their sweets, it's cause for their lioness to look up and set them free. So at 255, which is the High Priestess or Divine Feminine, and the Truth of 55, which is the Shaman's energy in the Metatron deck, 2 little boys on their Pegasuses, causing the butterfly lion heart to look up at the gifts of contemplation. The rainbow hair like Aquarius in the sky, wild and free in the age of Aquarius, which translates to the emotion of laughter, of hope and happiness. The inner little boys showing off their stuff, their magic, having created something so beautiful in the sky, like Sophia's KY, SKY, the energy of the 0 point field, that all the humans lined up at the shores to see it, along with the birds and butterflies and rainbow colors. Not just borealis lights, but all the bright colors of the rainbow, like an angel's hair show at the beach instead of air show, without any airplanes, just planes of existence. Wild rainbow hair in the sky, a bouquet of green maiden on the horse with butterfly and home nearby. Look up at Sophia's KY, the energy of the 0 point field, SKY, and her serious alignment with the little ones of laughter and awe, and dreams come true. At 311, the Empress in abundance and alignment of truth and balance, being wild and free, a breath of fresh air. And what's really funny right there, because Teddy made me get up and take a breath of fresh air right there. My daughter was making the Grim Reaper face yesterday, so that was coming up as well. The 22 of the leap of faith across the invisible tightrope and net to the 3. So there's that 1, 2, 3 again, of to the 3 of celebrating differences of the unicorn Pegasus the mother of the land, and the daughter and dolphins of the sea, or brothers and sisters, man and wife, or friends. The 26 of the dear lion heart, to be true to your heart, dear one. As grounded and earthy as you may be, let those colors of gold leak through your reddish-brown earthiness, the glow of your skin, the gold in your hair, the sparkle in your eyes, and from every pore oozing with love. The first card coming out here is the Divine Masculine Magic in leading the little ones to good food, good thoughts, and good fun. For the mother octopus dies for her young and has done all her teaching from within the heart. The 41 of the Ace of Cups, the Holy Grail, to the self-love of the hole at the Y in the road of God's rail, boring a tunnel straight to your heart. So that's literally coming up as the translation for the Holy Grail. The whole Y, which is the 0 point at the Y in the road, and then Grail is God's rail, which is literally a tunnel bored through straight to the heart. So that, again, your direct connect to source energy and creator. So then it was 3-2-1. So there's that 3-2-1 again. 3-2-1 jump as the underlying energy of the 5, which is all about freedom, change, and expansion, closing the door to complete the change towards freedom. And the 4 of the caterpillar with opportunity to transform, of the emperor cat unraveling the sine wave and discs, of reptile eyes and the pinwheel, the accordion of breathing in and out, with compassion. I was just getting compression there as well. The easy pass connection, the opportunity to transform with a pillar that caters, the Hierophant to the Emperor, to the King of Cups 37 with the Magician's sword Excalibur, with confidence in your magic. 5-4 to 3 and 7 were the cards. They came up as 5 card, 4 card, and then the 37 card. So 5-4-3 was coming up, and then 4 and 3 is 7. The Divine Feminine within the Masculine and the Chariot of coming together. The Emperor and the King of Cups, the chakra system and the spine, the truth and compassion, light and love, as the 40 and the 54, the Page of Cups and the Page of Swords at 3:30. There's again that source energy backing up the 33 of the unity consciousness, which the Page of Cups and the Page of Swords are the sweetheart, and then as we discussed at the last video, the universal Mercury heart of the Page of Swords, the mindful group think and the mindless initiate, crossing the bridge to the 81 thrones, which remember 81 means the end of karma around the world, and thrones is THR, which is the high road, or 309. So thrones is the high road ones, or the 309 ones, where the 309 is the 369 ones. The Emperor and the Hermit with the space between. The 369, which is also the 3, which is the Rolling Stone. The Rolling Stone is 3MEW. It's the same letter in all positions. The 6 is the Spiral, and the 9 is the All for One and One for All of the Hermit. Which, when you put those all together, the Rolling Stone, let's see if I can get this clear to you guys. Okay, there we go. So the Rolling Stone, when you put all 4 the letters and numbers together, the E and the 3 and the M and the W, it becomes a gift, okay, which is what I brought over here. But when you bring together the 6, 9, they become the 8, which is the pod of the 8. So going from the square energy with the ash on top, which is the bow on top, the icing, and then there's the pod of the 6, 9, which becomes the 8. And I did a whole technical drawing on that as well. The gift with the ash sprinkled on top and the 69 pod of 6, 8, 9, the crazy 8 dance, when the key, because you notice it's 6, 8, 9, but what's missing is 7, right, in between the 6 and 8. 7 is the gamma ray key. And I did this whole technical drawing on these numbers, 1 through 9. And you notice here how I drew all of this. You have the 1 separately of the 44. 1 number, and then this group of 4, and then this group of 4, where this group of 4 becomes the 8 in a square fashion, and the 3 is the key in the lower dimensions of survival, But in the upper dimensions of manifesting dreams, the 4 goes to the 7. Instead of going down, it goes up from the heart to the crown, where the 7 is the key to the 6, 7, 8, 9, which then becomes the circular pod of the 8, as opposed to the 4 in the square, which this also can be the 8, but it's again referencing that lower dimension of the 44 instead of the 8. Okay, so that's representing survival, corners, and squares, whereas the upper section of numbers represents dreams, curves, and spirals, where the gift is the square packaging, and the circular pod is the egg and the yolk, right? The juicy center, getting to the juicy center of it. And also 9 at the end is the energy of completion. So it represents there, you have the 1 and the all, you have the 144, you have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, 8, 9. So 3 come together with the 3 of cups there, as we went from 4 back to 3 and back to 4 again in the lower 4, or quad, which equals 7, but also 11. So the 3 to 4 is 7, but the 4, 3, 4 is 11. And then in the other section went from the 4 to 7, the heart to the crown, and then up to the 8, where 7 to 8 equals 15, but 4, 7, 8 equals 19. So that was translating as the 34 energetic exchange in the chariot of justice, and the second section as the heaven on earth in the shadow of the sun. So then going back to the cards is the 355, the Empress, and the 55 of the truth. And again here the 18 coming up, which is the elevation of the 144 to the 18 dance, reflecting the 81. So 18 reflects 81, which is the end of karma around the world. The purple moon ends karma around the world, where moon is MO of the M of Mary Magdalene, and the 0, which is human embodiment of source, so being a human, Mary Magdalene, and then the ON of being the human, Jesus, because lowercase n is my code for Jesus. The 2 humans as the twin flames, ending karma around the world, with the 18 of the Eagle Oracle here, where EA and GLE were defined, and vapor came up in one of the definitions of EA, which is also a water course, a course in emotions, of the AE and ash, which also means bright light and Pleiadian, of bad and evil, so there's always both sides, to rise, smell, breathe. Remember, to breathe is also to smell. The vapor that comes out of your mouth, right? And the hope and wish of life force, of being shy and ashamed, but also finding your sovereignty. The item, he, she, it, they, them, and the river of running water streaming. Yes, come on now, at any time. As remember from last video, vapor equals Eden, and ash, bright light of the divine feminine and the divine masculine, and the mercury that passes through Eden, breathed as ether, the 4 elements of the earth. This all came up in the last video, so if you're not following, you might want to watch that. So remember from Eagle, I just told you about EA, and Glee, GLE, is not only glee, but also, check this out, to behold, to look at, and be happy. So the 18 Eagle is the reflection of the divine masculine and feminine in Eden, a water course, a course in emotions, to look at, behold, and find glee or happiness, to see as an oracle of the heart, rising above and about the fray, with the lay of the land, to see the 63 of suffering and silence of the winter's dream, the pregnancy period, the gestation, a period to go within and grow, knowing you will birth. The 19 of the sun and the fallen angel, blinded by the light, saying, I never agreed to this, as your child falls into your arms, saying, oh, I have a mother this time, and smiles. At 413, which is the Emperor and the transition of 4, which is also survival, like living here on this planet in a survival mode, as opposed to the 8 of manifesting your dreams. The 255 of the High Priestess, and again the 55 of the Shaman energy and the Excalibur of the truth. The 2 little boys, Pegasuses, causing the butterfly Lionheart to look up at their gifts of contemplation, their rainbow hair in the sky, wild and free, in the age of Aquarius, the emotion of laughter. I then came up with the 2 cards at 413, the Divine Feminine High Priestess and the Space Between, which can be polarized without, the 53 of the Knight of Swords, the Curious Stranger with laser hands, or the Handyman in the cave with clean, clear water that's mighty tempting to dive into, and the first card out here of the Divine Masculine Magician with a tidy wood treehouse with clarity and organization, because they're a logical thinker. But wait till Agent 99 makes a mess that turns into something really good. Hansel and Gretel's tutor turned gingerbread house. And so it goes in the Crazy Eight's dance, with 8 cards and the 59 of reconciling the crying tree of the war within, in the sky bridge of Sophia's KY, the energy of 0 point field, and the bridge of 47, which is from the heart to the crown, or that sweet spot in numbers, just airing to the side of the alkaline or to the left. The possibility of heart to crown via the 4th finger. Remember, for 44 is the 4th finger to the 4th chakra, right, from the ring finger to the heart, with a possibility for union between the twin towers, with the horseman of 30 and heralding of change, comes riding in with Excalibur and Pegasus, the 17 of the star, which is the eye of the needle, the double star, the double-eyed needle of the twin flame quantum energy push and pull, with intent to heal and shine, the 45 of the purge, so that you can get your corset on, which my gnat showed up right at that moment on my inner arm on the right. At 421, the Emperor and the 3, or the World rather, and gnat always comes up when unforgettable comes up. So the 45 of the purge, so that you can get your corset on, but what that's really referencing is the tying of the pages back together after splitting apart, bringing the pages of your story back together, but top down this time, just like a corset would be tied back and forth in the weave, top down, with forgiveness. The 36 of being lost in space, with Atlas needing direction to her harvest, which is Hercules, means her harvest. The 64 of the woodwives, adapting easily to both pain and bliss, with space between so he can have room to breathe his dragon's breath. The 61 of while going within to her deep blue bubble, to sing and resonate as the whale, sinking into her portal, or in other words, sinking in a gentle pool of wine. She knows he'll burst her bubble when he's ready to pull strings, strumming her pain with his fingers, singing her life with his words, killing her softly with his song, until she surrenders to his loving arms. At 431, which is the reflection of 413 at the top of the page, the 4 of the Emperor, the 31 of the chaos of life, her coat and code, oats and ode, his song to her. From 54 to 61, the student initiate of Mercury, to profound whale's song. The sky bridge of Sophia's KY bridge to the ocean portal, the sword and the stone, his word, her tone, his ord, which means point, origin, or word, and her one, his +1, and her point of origin. At 435, the Emperor and the Wounded Warrior. All right, so that is my first message, and then the 7-deck read on the table for you guys. I'll show you a picture of that one. All right, so here's the 7-deck read on the table. I'm getting lots of green coming up from that, you notice? So green is all about the heart chakra and health, of course, the physical health. And this was cut and dealt at 8 right on the nose, so double zeros of source energy backing up the 8 of the Crazy Eight's dance, the balance between the masculine and feminine. And the twin flame, which equals the source digamma, or the twin gamma rays. The 808 came up then of the E of chalices, the one equal and congruent to emotions, and also Alice's came up. So again, the CERN may be coming up because one of the machines at CERN below the Alps is called Alice. So Alice's, and if that means something else to you, that can come up as well. But it's the 808 with the space between of the two twins dancing within their own masculine and feminine. And then I finished clarifying at 8:21, which is the dance of the 21 of completion, which has been coming up major this week, that it is finished. The energy of Jesus on the cross when his soul left his body. The twin flames here of the major arcana here were Luna, which is the moon, of course, Reason, which is the emperor. And before the read was Starseed, the Fool, and Abundance, which is the Empress. So we have the Emperor and the Empress right here. And after the read was the Tower and the Hanging Man and the Indigo. There were 3 cups, 1 pentacle, 4 swords, and 1 wand, which is 31 of the chaos of life and groups. Whenever you get into groups, there's chaos because all the energies aren't going to automatically resonate with each other. The 41 of the Ace of Cups, which is self-love, spiritual love, and new love, the Holy Grail. We had the 9 of Cups come up here as well, but the main court cards in the read were the Queen of Pentacles, the Knight of Swords, the Queen of Swords, and the King of Wands, and the Queen of Cups. So a lot of people in this read today. Before the read was the Knight of Cups, rather, and after the read was the Page of Swords and the Knight of Pentacles, that loyal, humble servant. The numbers, there were no double or triple numbers today, which has been really weird because they've been coming up every day. The numbers were 1, 3, 56, and 89. So 1 is the Magician, 3 is the Empress, 56 is the 2 of Swords, and 89 is that energy of Phi, of expanding and contracting, or staying in the middle, reflecting instead, remembering coming back to the heart space again. The 56 of the 2 of Swords of being in your knowing and keeping it to yourself, or keeping your energy clear. And again, the 13 being the reflection of the 31 of life and death, which is chaos and control, which if you get it to the middle, then becomes that balance of allowing, right? The lack of attachment and the lack of resistance is the point of coming to the middle. So we also have 35 of the Wounded Warrior, the 9 of Wands there, and the 68 of the Page of Pentacles, that perpetual student of life. And the code line here is all about spiritual career, which was broken up into SP, irritual, and C of the Whispering Bench, and arrears. So somebody might be in arrears. The code line was all about the number 1 of the Magician and the Divine Masculine, and the messages came up as such. After death, Sophia being wise in bridging in the sack, and again that can be the sagging of the bridge as well. But the grandmother kept coming up here, the Nana type energy, things not being even, the contents of a man, and the Queen of Pentacles, the 1 of the moral man, and the informal or regular need to air things out or expose or ventilate. After death, Sophia, wise queen, owns a bag of contents. And instead of spelling B, spelling C was coming up. And C again is that energy of the Whispering Bench, but also the Christ consciousness, which is the unity consciousness. Or the Nana, who may be a Queen of Pentacles, who's very grounded. One who frequents and is informally airs. And then again, quote unquote, spelling a bunch of circles. After death, or adds salt. Somebody's clearing a bridge too, salting a bridge. So there must be snow somewhere going on here because it was very much coming up as clearing the bridge and using salt. But that can be a etheric reference as well. So after death, salting, maybe there was a death on a bridge because it was very slippery and then they end up salting it very well from then on, or maybe a new law is made regarding that. But also advertising coming up regarding salting a bridge clearly to sacrifice the grandmother, or the contents of the rectum is also coming up here. And I was just getting the rectory as well. The Queen of Pentacles, I am sour or disagreeable, or the full-time equivalent of a regular exposure or ventilation in the era after Christ. ADS also came up meaning atom, which also can mean physics, mathematics, and cosmology. But Adam, the wise owner, perhaps loot in the cow's tin. So somebody's calling their grandmother a cow, but you know how the grandmothers always used to keep money in their tin? That was coming up. Adam is the wise owner of the loot that was in their grandmother's tin. Wise with money and ace of tea. Irritating rituals to clear the air, expose the era after Christ. Also, after death, Adam's Sophia, queen, owns the cul-de-sac of the grandmother, or it's like the grandmother's house or the grandmother's loot, the cow, the tin. The Queen of Pentacles, in acing of understanding or perceiving, instead of using that word understanding, which insinuates standing under someone else. Spiritual, Ace of 3, and thee, yourself. The spiritual career and the stone. Fires, clear, sagging, uneven bridge. So maybe a bridge went down in the fires, but it was sagging and uneven and dangerous, so it was probably a good thing that it went down. The Queen of Pentacles, Ace of stabilization. Or acing stabilization without this bridge, whether it's an etheric bridge or an actual bridge that needed to be done over. Acing to compress or swell with irregular ventilation, to warm. Irregular arrears exposed in the era after Christ regarding the spiritual career. So very interesting way the messages were coming through there. So at 9:18 I started doing the read. The moon on top, or Luna, is the top card here underneath the little cards. So the top card on here is the moon reversed, or Luna. Beneath that was Starseed upright, Abundance reversed, or the Empress. The Five of Swords upright, the Knight of Cups upright, and the Six of Wands upright. Free to leap without mother, or with no abundance. The Five of Swords from frog to prince. The Knight of Cups with good news, early morn. Or about a deception or receiving love from the magician, being manipulative with the Queen of Swords reversed, or perhaps the Queen of Swords here is being manipulative. Or bipolar Gemini can be coming up here with poor judgment or arrogant, feeling above the Queen of Swords reversed, and the Page of Wands upright with Empress reversed, King of Pentacles upright, and the Wounded Warrior reversed, surrendering and dropping the ball, or the act, with the Ten of Cups family, along with the Four of Swords and the Two of Swords, resting with peace of mind, unaware, and to be safe from oneself. The Ten of Cups happy family or emotional fulfillment, and the Sound of Music family, right? The expectation of having that perfect family, now at rest or now silent and unable to talk. So again, bringing up that energy of the sham fam that always needs to look perfect on the outside but has issues within, like every family does. But at 9:48, the series on Netflix came up too. Everything Calls for Salvation was actually really good, so you might like that. 9:48 is the Hermit and the Going Within, the Convalescence, the Rehab, the Lunacy of illness, of injury and mental illness or blindness to the Rainbow Bridge. The Two of Pentacles reversed, in dropping the ball or messing up, freaking out and then feeling badly with no affection or in a breakup. With Aries upright and Scorpio upright, but Taurus, Cancer, Gemini, and Aquarius reversed. Worth waiting for here, and beneath that was to free yourself, right, from your inner prison. With sudden events, epiphanies, or regret after of hurting someone they love, in a sudden disaster where everything falls apart. Worth waiting for, and I was just getting waiting, like wading through water. Worth waiting for, and beneath that free yourself, with no surprise, no shock, or the anticipation is over, perhaps for sexual reunions, perhaps someone's no longer excited by this. With the Queen of Wands upright, in downturn or twist of fate with the Queen of Cups reversed, where the Queen of Wands may be undressing, perhaps with implants, or unable to breastfeed, or breastfeeding really long, like till their child is like 4 years old. That can be coming up. The Queen of Wands upright, no longer the pretty or sexy one, or the sexiest one. And this is coming up as a competition between women. The Queen of Cups reversed, no longer looking up to them. This could be a sister thing as well. And this sister-wise was just coming up. The old one is no more. No more rose-colored glasses. No more mama's boy. All legs, all feet, or deprived of breast and obsessed with boobs. All generations. the exhibitionist, the intellectual, and the old lady. No prejudice here, as they are seeing them all the same way, still obsessed about the boobs. Dropped the ball in sexual exchange with the Queen of Wands, now the Queen of Cups reversed. With moderation in the number 14, and beneath that patience with number 2 of the High Priestess or Divine Feminine, with post-war patience and PTSD in losing battle of grief or regret, and the Ten of Pentacles family, business, or community. Perhaps the imp with the money and sharing or settling out the injustice of greedy hands and handing out crumbs, where the turtle is too slow, so there's nothing left for them. With Sag upright and Libra reversed, the injustice of lunacy, deception, and early morns. No love from the Queen of Cups reversed, patient with moderation, and working late with issues at work. And there could be separation and healing and an apology coming up there with the 5D connection offering a new life of suffering in silence or sister or being stressed out or feeling like you can't get sleep or facing your fears. The recent past is the Queen of Swords reversed, Libra and Cancer reversed, coming full circle in coming clean and freeing oneself from their inner war, from mean people or defensive Ten of Cups family, uncomfortable with the King of Wands upright and the Queen of Pentacles upright, perhaps weakened by the Chariot in the energetic exchange, grieving loss and regret. With Pisces and Aries and Cancer upright and Leo reversed, the foundation is the Knight of Swords reversed, who's bored, with the King of Pentacles upright and the Wounded Warrior reversed, surrendering. The patient angel of the Ten of Pentacles family, business, or community, with a big offer as the Ace of Pentacles to Atlas to leave the Wounded Warrior behind. So that's like the energy of the Ten of Wands walking up the stairs, leaving the 9 Wands behind and only proceeding with that one flame. The central energy of the 9 of Cups upright, satisfied working late, and the Page of Wands, who's inspired to drive to the Knight of Wands reversed at work, who may be losing their mind, or coming out to the Knight of Pentacles reversed in a losing battle, trying to end conflict. This going to work could also be an institution. The challenge being the Queen of Pentacles, offering passion to the Page of Cups reversed, who could be a vulnerable child, or perhaps a spoiled, entitled child, as the Queen of Cups reversed is implementing a plan to give the truth to the awakened innocent child, and working hard to align with the Page of Pentacles upright, who could be a sister or someone suffering in silence or stressed out or can't sleep, and the 4 of Pentacles upright, refusing to wake up, the King of Wands upright and the Queen of Swords reversed. The Page of Pentacles may be drinking to forget the 7 of Swords reversed, coming clean to close the distance gap, unable to get them to crack, unable to get them to talk. The soulmate with sad memories at 10:58 of the Wheel of Fortune and the 4 of Swords. The soulmate with sad memories of them freeing themselves from them, inspired to burn the past. At 10:59, which is like the 11th hour, right before 11 o'clock, the 7 of Cups is upright and seeing synchronicities that make them happy with self, uncomfortable dealing with emotions. And now the King of Wands shaman is holding on to their dreams of a breakup in the past or released from a prison with options, while divorcing or dealing with an injustice. Needing strength with the King of Cups and the Empress both reversed, which can be a couple or parents, it could also be a parent who's remarried. Perhaps weak or sick, uncomfortable doing the avoid dance, needing peace and coming together to be released now that the worst is over. Swallowing their pride in an awakening, the Queen of Pentacles needing peace to end conflict and disconnect, or at a distance from dark night or a death, an ending, or Scorpio, with negative talk or self-talk or bipolarism, recovering from exile, injury, or illness. The Page of Swords reversed without a leg to stand on, unless they give the whole truth, not just the Page of Swords truth, which is very little. The Fool is inspired by synchronicities and being happy with themselves, but uncomfortable in dealing with their emotions and walking away from things. At 11:14, which is alignment and justice, and the 14 of a higher love, of truth and balance and patience, and taking a step off that beaten path. Soon here is the Emperor reversed out of control, refusing to open up to deception, or Cancer reversed, the Knight of Cups upright offering love to a home or family or in a twist of fate or a celebration, that can be as well. In energetic exchange with the King of Swords reversed, the Injustice or Libra reversed, King of Wands who's recovering or helping others to recover. With Aries, Cancer, and Libra, perhaps 2 Libras here reversed, all 3 of them or 4 of them are reversed. The twin flames seeing themselves as the Queen of Cups reversed, with a temptation here to go back or to look back, perhaps at a divorce or divorced Queen of Wands, with the Emperor reversed healing with an offer from Injustice of a tainted or spiritual judge, or not spiritual judge, but the divorced Queen of Wands can also just be a spiritual Queen of Wands, with the Emperor reversed healing with an offer from Injustice of a tainted judge. Calling in your soulmate, chemistry, but also let your friends help and stay optimistic about your love life. The Queen of Cups reversed, Capricorn from the past, perhaps divorcee or broke a contract, with the Queen of Wands upright and the Emperor reversed. Needing to apologize for receiving injustice or unfair offer, with the Emperor reversed and Justice reversed and the Hierophant reversed, which is like the redcoats. The redcoats all with temptation here. Church versus state, with the Queen of Wands between, versus the justice system, and they're all tainted. Capricorn upright with Taurus, Aries, and Libra all reversed, and the Queen of Cups reversed, tempted in the past by those who want to hurt them and want a trophy or a sexy wife, the Queen of Wands upright. Around the twins, or how they're seen, is the Eight of Swords reversed and a release from prison, whether that's actual prison or your mental prison, with a choice to make about rejection and vulnerability as a child, unfair powerlessness, and finally out. The block here being the Ace of Swords, truth of energetic exchange with the King of Swords reversed through synchronicities, with spiritual career, but even more so here, rebirth and self-love, with the Three of Swords reversed, strumming their pain with his fingers no more, in the inequity of codependency and coming together to stand up for self about the 5D connection, the secret passion of leading the way, holding their tongue about sudden events, epiphanies, and or sexual exchange, awakening without a leg to stand on, dealing with manipulation or insecure, Knight of Pentacles reversed, and Indigo reversed, soulmates who love each other at 11:58, alignment with the Four of Swords, or getting a rest or break, or the 5D connection within. And at 12 o'clock on the dot, I turn the page. At 12:23 is the Hanging Man of the King of Wands, the Man of Passion, the download to the crown of the Empress reversed. From frog to prince, the Knight of Cups with good news, leading the way through lunacy, through deception and early mornings, finding peace of mind. And the Knight of Swords with the Queen of Cups both reversed, finding release with the Queen of Swords reversed, who's satisfied, but challenged by the Queen of Pentacles upright, and the Emperor reversed, losing control or stepping down from control, with the truth always just below the surface, with the King of Wands coming together suddenly, awake with negative self-talk and insecurity, with the Knight of Pentacles reversed being stubborn and refusing to budge at 12:34, which is also 1, 2, 3, 4, shut the door. It's also hanging out in energetic exchange. With Cancer reversed, Queen of Swords reversed, the injustice of the Knight of Swords reversed, happy with the Nine of Cups upright, and challenged by the Queen of Pentacles to be the shaman, with the Queen of Cups and the Emperor both reversed. Released from prison with the truth of reunion and fireworks, awake with no message or silent and needing to manifest, with the Knight of Pentacles reversed, crazy soulmate, out all night, the Nine of Cups, to get their wish and come together suddenly, with the Page of Swords reversed and the Knight of Pentacles reversed, where 2 negatives here actually do make a positive. At 12:40, the Hanging Man and the Page of Cups, that innocence and purity of love. So that's the 7-deck read. So got through that pretty quick today. So let's just go ahead and pull, we're going to do an unknown animal spirit card, and we'll do the Journey of Love today. And then we'll be all set. It's 11:03 right now, which is the alignment of abundance. 3. It's actually 1 and 4 over here. So that both the Empress and the Emperor, and it just changed to 5 of the Hierophant. So again, those red coats. And you see them here in the read. Justice reversed, the Emperor reversed, and the Hierophant reversed. All of the institutions that are failing. All right, so of the wild unknown, we have the owl, the wise owl. And at the bottom of the deck is the gazelle, the graceful gazelle. And they're both very graceful energies. We have the tarantula, which is the crossroads to the horse, which for me is Mr. Ed, and that's source energy, source creator. So it's a very profound energy here, right? The crossroads between the wise one and source energy, Mr. Ed, and the graceful gazelle at the bottom here. Let's see what's behind the graceful gazelle. All right, and this is that break in the seal here of the sacral chakra of creativity. This could be an accidental pregnancy. It could be a break in the seal at CERN, right, of the closed spiritual seal, and then getting broken and then needing to be sealed up again to keep the dark out. And we have the scorpion there as the dark, right, the triggers that open up the seal to the graceful gazelle, right, trying to trigger the graceful gazelle who never gets triggered. They don't react to anything because they've mastered their energies. So the underlying energy is coming from that place of grace and the crossroads between the human and the source energy, right? And not necessarily being one or the other, right? But the dance between your human ego side and your creator, God sourcely side. And this is like the zero, the Y in the road between this source 0 point, that purple moon, 0 point field energy. And this is also coming up as the 1, 2, 3 in the space between the Y and the road. Very cool the way that came through. Let's see what the journey of love has for you guys. It's the wisdom and the longevity of the horse, right? The horse is so powerful and healthy and free. And of course, Mr. Ed came up between the last session and this session as well, regarding the extra dimensional and other meanings that come up with Ed. Eden, one of the definitions for Eden is Ed. I think Ed was the plural of Eden. Okay, and what is our takeaway from this read today? All right, I have 2 cards here. Actually, there's another one that wants to come out. All right, we have Woman of Light, the 49 of getting your wish, and there's that light coming into the feminine, and that relates to my pin technical drawing of the light coming into the pin, the point of the pin as the divine feminine, going down the pin into the 2 circles at the bottom, where the first circle is the feminine, the second one is the masculine, which goes into the back of the pin of the masculine. The pin becomes sealed after filling up the station. As the masculine uses up the energy, the pin falls open again from the housing at the top, and then the feminine has to go collect light again. The 27 of the Ace of Wands, the etheric touch, being very light, inspired, as opposed to ego passion. It's like purifying the passion into inspiration or even aspiration. And again, getting your wish of self-satisfaction, of bathing in the light, like showering in the light in the morning, just remembering to clear yourself, to be inspired, to be more light, to be lighter. So you see how this is the light coming into her, and then this is her lightening up, becoming more spirit-like. And there's that card of the temple again, the 59, the war within, of the masculine and feminine coming together at the bottom of the Statue of Liberty, which the etheric altar from Atlantis is above the Statue of Liberty, coming together in the temple, lightening up from the sun, becoming that high vibration energy of inspiration to come together and end the war. And then these 3 fell out after that. And we have loving all that is, again, holding space, which came up in the read, as well as the 18 of the purple moon, the 0 point field, and the energy of, I'm just getting the accordion effect of going out and then in, and look how the circles move into this card. That's what I love about this deck. All the cards kind of move together. The distant shores of loving all that is, the fool's journey of an open heart and taking a leap of faith, even to distant shores that maybe you're not feeling like you are there yet, of the 18 going from the 144. And again, her grace reaching out to you. And there, look, the circles all coming together. Oh, that's really cool the way that came together. The circles, the spiral into her grace, and again, the graceful gazelle that came up at the bottom of the deck. Remember, the first card was her receiving the light, to become lighter, to lighten up, to come to the into the temple and end the war within, holding space and loving all that is in the purple moon with her grace, which is the 17 of the star of healing and dreaming, having your dreams come true, and remaining graceful at all times. Again, maintaining your grace in all situations. The choice is always up to you, as we have the yin-yang lover bending over backwards within the vortex, right? And there's like a light bulb moment there, right? Where you have to realize when things aren't balanced, right? Because there's always a balance between unconditional love, which includes loving yourself. So it's about the balance, the dance between loving others and loving yourself, right? And it's always a back and forth thing, and always going back to the void, right, to clear your energy, the 40 of that pure innocent love. The bottom of the deck here is the breaking of the 65, which is the King of Pentacles, right? The one who's solid in their earthly manifestations, but the breaking of that, the surrender into his soul, back into his soul again, with the feminine catching him, right? Him falling onto the feminine within the void, and becoming the 34, the energetic exchange between the Empress and the Emperor, the arrows of love, and meeting at the temple to end the war within. So that first one is the 49 of the Woman of Light. We're going to read you that one, and the owl as well. All right, so of course the owl is of air, abundance, clairvoyant, and treasures. The owl is a mysterious and otherworldly creature found in folklore from east to west. The white owl in this particular deck is the companion of the goddess Lakshmi and represents wealth, beauty, and good fortune. When the owl card appears, it's an omen that a boon or treasure is on the way, either in spiritual or material form. With owl wisdom on your side, you'll see and know exactly what to do with this boon and how it can further serve your dharma and bring abundance to the world. Trust that the wellspring of treasures is infinite. When in balance, they're generous, trusting, and secure. But when the owl is out of balance, there may be money quarrels or scarcity. To bring back into balance, an offering. And then the Woman of Light with 49, which is getting your wish. And that's all about self-satisfaction, because if you can be happy with yourself alone, you can be happy in any situation. Pure is my joy, my celebration. I know the divine to be eternal. There is no limit to my peace, to my pleasure, as I rise and rise and rise again. Capable am I of receiving the light, of accepting the next level of illumination. I am sacred flesh coming to light. I am the walking temple, the living goddess, she who shines with truth. I come to you now. I am one with you now. I am the awakened one and the awakener. This oracle brings you guidance that you are to be witness to the presence of an awakened being, either within your own self as part of your spiritual destiny or in the form of a beloved other. An awakened one is in your midst or soon will be. Receive the blessing that emanates from such a being, for to behold one is a gracious gift, spiritual gift, that will lift you to the next step of your path. If you have trouble discerning the true presence of an awakened teacher in your midst, or even in your own being, remember that nothing is asked from you by such awakened ones but loving devotion, so that they may serve the awakening of all living beings. It requires much karmic grace to be granted immediate access to an awakened being, even more to become such a living light, so take delight. And the poem reads, I ask God for a deepening of my love, without realizing that the deeper I was willing to go, the more it involved letting go of any part of myself that wanted to love and still be safe. In surrender to the possible lay the greatest potential for love at levels before unknown, like a cistern that holds the nectar of life and gives its precious fluid only to be filled again with nature's flow. Such knowingness is a gift, for if you can embrace the blessing, you can live without question, relaxing and replenishing with each breath, with each kiss, always whole. And so it is. Remember your water, your sleep, your joy, your nature. Rise and be loved, love and rise. Have an amazing day, you guys. It's all in the eyes. That's been coming up constantly lately. Remember to breathe. And I'll see you guys soon. Have an amazing day. Bye, guys.